Hi,
Hi,
Gabriel.
hi everyone.
All right. Yeah, we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this community meeting. Um, yeah, unfortunately, we cannot use the link that is provided online as we were bombed a couple of minutes ago, and this is another reason why we jumped over to this Zoom session. All right, then let's share my screen to see the agenda for today. This time we are not that many folks because yeah, it's holiday season and a couple of, of guys are enjoying their time yeah, outside and are not in the office, but still, let's do this community meeting. First of all, when you want to get started with implementing an issue for Keptn, then feel free to check out the Good First Issues list. Here you find a couple of issues that we classify as good first issues that are, yeah, to some extent very nicely framed and a good starting point for getting first hands-on experience with implementing Keptn issues. Then there is also the Keptn mailing list. This is a Google group. When you want to get notifications and emails about Keptn and upcoming announcements, then please feel free to subscribe there. And it's one email per week that will be sent out every Monday. All right, yeah, then I don't want to lose more time and we jump directly to the PRs and issues that were implemented this week. And I will directly hand over to Ermin, who wants to show us cool enhancements in the UI. And yeah, Ermin, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Johannes. I'm going to present you 3 pull requests today. So the first one is titled "Improve color coding for problem event." So let's see what was the issue there. We had the case that a problem resolved event was reported by the Dynatrace service, but on the left side where you see the root events, it was labeled as red and like a problem event. And that brought us into some discussion. So we decided to even, problem open events. So as it should happen usually, you get first the problem open and then the problem resolved event. And in case that the problem is resolved, we decided to mark this event, so the root event, as green again. And the result is that now when you have a problem event, as long as it's open, you see it as red, as a red root event, and the stage where it occurred is red. But in case that it's resolved or you have an evaluation that is successful, so after, for example, remediation actions have been executed, then you see that the problem open event is green again because of this successful result. The second issue that the second pull request I'm going to show you is the show failed quality gates in environment screen. So we have the environment screen where you have the overview of the stages. And the idea is that with those 2 icons, or actually with this icon here, we indicate that there was a quality gate broken on that stage. So when you click on that stage, then you see on the right side that, yeah, here one quality gate failed. Next to the service that failed, you see this same icon again. So when you expand it, you see the details. In this case, we can see quality gate of cards 0113 failed with a score of 0, so a very bad score. And in this case, because blue-green deployment is used, a rollback to 0111 was performed. In case of direct deployment, you would just see the first message here, and you would see that the version 0.11.3 is deployed, but still you get the information the quality gate failed. And when you hover over this bubble here, you get also a pop-up with some details about this evaluation. And one more pull request, show remediation workflow environment screen. So this is again in the environment screen. So when you have a problem event that occurred, we also want to display that in the environment screen because it's stage specific. And here you see, for example, the cart service in production. There was a problem. And in this case, failure rate increase on web service items controller. So this is the problem title that is reported in this case by Dynatrace. And then Keptn executed some remediation actions like toggle feature flag, enable promotion to off, but the evaluation here was not successful. So actually there should, or all remediation actions will be executed. And after each remediation action, we have some evaluation. And if the evaluation is successful, then the problem disappears. Or in case that we get the problem resolved from Dynatrace, for example, again, then also the problem here is resolved. And just to show you a short demo of this one, I already explained the problem resolved. In this case, is marked as green. And we have here the problem that is currently open. So when I go to my environment screen, I see my production stage with this cards service in red. And what I just wanted to show you, and I think in this example now it's broken because this is my local environment, but here you would see then a pop-up. But I will show you with the other use case when we have a configuration change event that was broken. So in this case, the evaluation on the staging stage is bad. Then I can see this same quality gate that is broken on my environment screen. And when I expand the cart service and I get this information here, I can hover over this bubble and see also the result of this evaluation. So I see here the score and also the SLI breakdown. So I can see that here the response time P95 was very bad. And that's why this evaluation failed. That's from my side. So if there are no questions, I'm handing over to Andreas.
Cool. Thank you, Ermin. Really nice features. Then I would like to share my screen. So this week I've worked on upgrading Keptn 0.7 to 0.71. So you probably know 0.71 is around the corner. We will start releasing it next week. And here, of course, we need some way to automatically upgrade from 0.70 to 0.71. And therefore, I've implemented this issue here, which introduces a new CLI command, which is called Keptn upgrade. So as soon as you have the new CLI in version 0.71, you can then write Keptn upgrade, and Keptn will then automatically upgrade all images on your cluster. Of course, you can still also use Helm directly, and please use therefore this image, which will be available next week. But the CLI here allows you to simply make it more convenient to do this Helm upgrade. In the background, of course, there is, so this is the corresponding pull request here, and this is a little bit bigger because I need to refactor especially the install command, because I was able to reuse lots of the install functionality for the upgrade too. And here I would need a review, please. And finally, I would like to show you our version JSON file, because here I also added now a section for Keptn directly. So we already had the CLI, we already had version info for the bridge, and now we have version info for the Keptn cluster. And what you can see here is we are also listing all stable versions. And for example, new stable version will be 0.71. And then I additionally provide information which which installations can be upgraded. So there is an upgrade path from 0.70 to 0.71. And this, of course, is used in the CLI for doing the upgrade mechanism. So that's from my side. Any questions?
I have a question to Ermin in this regard. Actually, could we use, it was just an idea, could we use the version.json file that Andreas showed us, that we can inform the user that there is a possibility to upgrade? Let's assume user is running Keptn 0.7 and we release 0.71. Can we then check the version file to tell the user you are able to upgrade to 0.71?
The question is, how do we retrieve the cluster version? And in case that we can provide the cluster version with an API call, then we could display this information also in the bridge. Yeah. Currently, I only have the bridge version.
So the cluster version is already available.
Oh no, yeah,
in
of course. That's the API version. That's the API version. No,
That's the API version.
Yeah.
Let's double check this, because probably we also need some exactly this information also for the bridge, upgradable versions.
Yeah, I can check that. So I can, if I have the API version provided, so I can, that's the cluster version, let's say. And in case there is an upgradable version for that current version, I can show the information. That would be possible.
Cool. All right. Yeah. It was just an idea, but
yeah,
let's,
of course.
Let's frame an issue around that and let's pull everything together into an issue
and discuss it maybe there again. But
discuss it there.
It would be possible. Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds cool.
Great. Then I will take over and talk about the issues I was working on. The first one was actually an issue that I did not implement. Kudos to Gabriel and Andreas, who did the work on that issue, and I was just a guy who verified everything. And it is about the possibility that you can install Keptn in a specific namespace. Let me go there to show you this in a real example. Well, here we explained what this new feature is all about. And what I did is I used the newest Keptn CLI, which will be available with 0.71. Then I run the command Keptn install, and then you have here the possibility to add the flag namespace equals the namespace you want to install Keptn in. And in this case, I used Keptn Tiger. Yeah, I did that. And then I executed all the tutorials for onboarding, quality gates, and the remediation actions. And they worked pretty well. Everything works together. And this was just a verification step that we did not miss any piece and any part. And so that we are also sure that there is nothing breaking when we go and when we release the new version. And there was also an implication on the Keptn generate support archive command I verified, and then I finally also uninstalled Keptn, and here you also have to specify the namespace again. There were just a couple of tweaks necessary, but yeah, now it's everything working together. This was the first one, and the second one the second issue I was working on was security related, because Jürgen is working on increasing our CII page. This CII page has currently already a good value of about 95%, but he wants to get it to a 100. And for the last 5%, he needs a statement or clarification for 3 security questions. And I did a research, or I scrolled through the source code and took a look at all the tokens and keys that Keptn is using. And what I came up with a conclusion that shows that Keptn is using 4 kind of tokens. One is the API token. Then we have credentials for the bridge, credentials for the MongoDB, and there is also a session token for the WebSocket communication. And then further down, I explained how we are generating those tokens and how we are storing them inside Keptn. And based on this information, I then came to a conclusion that we can, or that there are some tasks necessary to fulfill the first requirement, and there are also some tasks required to fulfill the second and third requirement. But this I want to discuss with Jürgen, if we should do really an action item or an implementation item on that, or if this statement is already good enough to get the 5% of the CII patch. Yeah, but this is something I want to discuss with Jürgen going forward. All right, yep, this was my final task I was working on this week. Then Christian is not participating today. This means that we can jump over to the working items.
So I have a quick note to your first issue.
Mm-hmm.
So because this now allows us to install Keptn multiple times. So
True.
For example, you can have Keptn 1, Keptn 2, Keptn 3, and you can also use exactly this feature in order to split your data. For example, if you have a pre-prod environment and a prod environment, and you would like to only see data in the bridge of your pre-prod environment, but not from the prod environment, then you can simply install Keptn 2 times and you have a really nice split. This is an advanced use case which can be really useful.
Totally agree. And this is now very, very convenient and very neat, because you can also think about not separating those for different environments, but you can also get get a team, or a team can have its own Keptn, and then just this team sees the data from this Keptn, and another one sees the data from another Keptn, and but still you can install both on one Kubernetes cluster. This means that you just operate one cluster, but you can have multiple Keptns for multiple teams. I think this opens a lot of very cool use cases, and also opens up possibilities for supporting different organizational level challenges. That's true. Yeah, and it's coming with the next release, and yeah, we're excited about that. Then I want to skip the discussion about KEP 0.6 as we did it the last couple of meetings. Just a quick reminder, when you want to get more information about the new shipyard format, please jump to this Keptn enhancement proposal and check out what you can expect from Keptn from the shipyard version 0.2. And the next time we will see the implementation of the CLI feature that allows us to delete the service. Yeah, we want to ask Florian to show us this feature, and this is the reason why we postponed it to next week. And now let's go over to the working items. And let me just move over to the ready for review column. Andreas, you showed us the upgrader. The Keptn CLI command for Keptn deleting the service will be shown next time. The same is true for that and that one. Here we have an issue from Florian, and here again. Then Ermin, you showed us that the bridge is changing the color when a problem resolved comes in, and you also showed us the quality gates in an environment screen. I think this pull request is not merged yet, not accepted yet, and there's still some work to do.
Yeah, let's leave it in the review section. Actually, I saw that there are some parts that are not working yet correctly.
Okay, then I will actually
even though
move it back to the in progress.
Yeah.
Is that okay? All right. Perfect. Then what's in progress? Yeah, the specification of the CLI event. But that's yeah, that's something that's not we should not put pressure on that issue as long as we have time. Then would be nice to get feedback from Christian on this issue, as he's working on getting the feature out of the Prometheus service to actually install Prometheus. We don't want to do that anymore because this should be done manually and by the person that is operating Prometheus. And I'm still working on that one, yeah, because our Travis CI build is currently broken, and I need to figure out the reason why it's broken, and then I need to provide a fix for that. And Ermin, are you? Yeah, I assume
I'm working
you're working
on that
one
actually, but yeah.
All right. And last time we assigned this issue to you, Ermin.
Yep, that's also actually work in progress.
Cool. Then let's have a look into the backlog. Here we have the first issue that is also bridge related, because with the cool feature of getting the icons there that allow us to focus on the problems and the failed quality gates, it would be also very convenient to get these icons working as a filter. This means when you click on this icon, you filter the list on the right side, and the same is true for these labels up there. When you click on one of these, then the list of services will be shrinked and yeah, filtered. All right, yeah. Because when I think about having a couple of services there, then it's really difficult to find that one that you're looking for, and these filters will help a lot. I mean, can I assign
Yeah, of course. I will take that one. Just wanted to say that I heard from environments where they have like 50 to 100 services.
Yeah, that's true. And then it's a challenge to look for the right one.
Yeah.
Then we have another issue that is about also convenience feature for working with Keptn, because what we would implement with this feature is that in the user menu that you have on the top right corner, when you click on the small icon, on the small person icon that is showing a person, then you should get the possibility to copy and paste, and just to copy the Keptn API token, and then also the Keptn auth command. This should help to get started, and then you don't have to use kubectl for retrieving this information, and you can directly start to work when you have this token available.
Yeah, since it's in the bridge again, you can assign that one to me.
All right. Thanks a lot, and we'll move it over. And here, one last issue for the bridge. It's about the situation that info SLIs are here shown in red, but this should not be the case. Actually, we did not define a definition of done and not how they should look like, but there is, I don't want to say a bug, but some problem that indicate this issue as red. This SLI as red.
Yeah, it seems like there is either something misconfigured, let's say it like that, or yeah, a little bug in the bridge, because for the process memory in this case we have no breakpoints defined, so no targets, but it's marked as red. That means that a target is not met actually. So I have to investigate that one, since it's in the bridge, so you can assign it to me.
Okay, Ermin, should we discuss that one, or should we at least define a definition of done? Or is it clear for you?
The definition is that SLI without criteria should not be read, never.
True. Yep.
Yeah, because there are no criteria, actually. So that's okay. But as I said, it could be that it's actually a misconfiguration. Of course, the bridge can handle that as well, and but we will see.
All right, yeah. And then the last issue that I want to pull in for the next week is the Keptn 0.71 release. Let me just quickly open that one. It is our checklist for releasing a Keptn version. And yeah, still, or there's always a lot of work to do, like testing, then getting the documentation up to date, then also releasing all the services that are living in the Keptn contrib organization, and so on and so on. Yep. And I hope that everybody in the team can help to work on that, and that's a jointly, let us jointly work on releasing 0.71. Just will move it over, and when we come to the point that we work on this checklist, then yeah, feel free to assign yourself. Okay, then let me just talk about that one. Actually, this would be nice to have, but it's not necessary for the 0.71 release. It is related to the Keptn enhancement proposal 0.6, and it's the idea of extending the distributor to make the distributor possible to receive cloud events on a post event, and then just also to do the check of the X token and then forward the event to the service itself. Yeah, it's more or less nice to have, and when someone has or finds time before we start working on the releasing process, yeah, feel free to work on that one. Otherwise, next week we will assign it to someone. And to these issues, I heard from Suri and from Imre that they can't, or that they don't have time to work on these good first issues. This is the reason why I moved it back to the backlog. And when someone wants to get started with an issue, with a good first issue, then also feel free to grab one of these and to dig into coding on Keptn. All right, yeah, since we are a smaller round today, we're also coming to the end of the official meeting, and I'm done from my side. But now, as we have some minutes left, maybe a question to Gabriel. Gabriel, do you have any feedback for us, or what are you currently working on?
Yeah, thanks, Johannes. What I wanted to bring to the discussion, maybe we will not have an answer today, but maybe make a note to discuss it further, is that what I'm working on is the Ansible Tower service action provider, and there is a question from like the development that I got is when you define the remediation file, you have to specify the values. And what it's not clear to me yet is how Keptn will handle the data type, or if it's gonna do. I'm not sure if you remember the thread that we had about this. So let me just share the screen here real quick. Is it okay if I
Of course,
get the
absolutely.
rights? All right, here you go. So basically here is this one that is here. Let me put it on the main channel here. So when I define the action and I specify a value, I can either put it as an integer, for example, if it's a number, or I can also put it as a string in the YAML file. But that makes it different for the services, not just my service, but any service, whether or not they're going to have to convert the data type, or if Keptn is going to do any conversion before the event reaches the service, or if it's just going to be like a documentation, for example. For the Ansible Tower service, the values must be specified as string or as numeric. I mean, that's the situation that I'm facing. Of course, as of now, I'll just, I can just like, since I have control of both the remediation action file for the development and the service, it's not stopping my development, but I think it's a fair question to decide.
Absolutely. And that's actually a good question, whether we can make it a Keptn feature to convert it, but would you then look for a string, or?
Yeah, exactly. So for example, let me find it here. If it's the same line still. Yeah, so here is it's on the Ansible Tower service already running the template. So I've already done the verification that the action is supported. So I identified that it's a launch for the job template, and now I'm gonna have to fetch the values. So the values are defined in the data type as this data type, a map of string and an empty interface. When I actually have to use it, I'll have to get the map and convert it either to string or to int, but that depends on the use that I'm gonna do, right? So like in this case, I'm adding the job template value to the URL, so it has to be a string. So yeah, I can define a string in the values of the remediation file, and then in the action provider, I can also understand that this is a string. But if I think that this is a numeric data type, then it will break, it will crash at runtime.
Can I quickly jump in?
Just one remark. As I see the problem now, I think it would be a problem, or it would be more problematic when Keptn does the conversion, because then the recipient of this values, of this part, will never know who did the conversion or what he can receive.
Okay.
And as long as it's aligned with what is in the file and matches that values that will then be received by the action provider, I think then we are on a safer side. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to make a few notes. Can you please go back to Slack? So, first of all, where do we see the values?
Okay, I have the file here.
Here, okay. First of all, this was intentional in Keptn, or when designing the remediation file, that we have chosen an interface or an object in Java for the values property here. So this really allows the users of the remediation to define here any values. For example, you define the job template equals 9 of type integer and so on. So it's an object, so it can be anything.
Yes.
I of course get the problem if a user here enters some properties which are not defined in your remediation action provider. So what you would now need is some kind of specification, some JSON specification, which is first validated when before the remediation is triggered. So, and for now, I would propose to simply make this via documentation. So if you're using your Ansible Tower remediation action provider, you have to use exactly those values, otherwise, and those data types, otherwise it won't work. Going forward, of course, we can think of how can we here ensure a real JSON specification that, and that is valid. So, but for now, I would see this as documentation issue.
Previously, I think I can see the history. Previously, I had created, let's see if this one has. I will find the previous version where I had the verification on the value. So I could definitely, this would definitely be the next step. So initially I was doing a conversion from numeric to string because this is what I wanted to use. And we can also catch if there are any errors here that don't comply to the specification. This, of course, I'm not saying that if the value is not in the right data type, I will let it crash, but we can also do this and then just return an error. But in either case, the end result is that the action will not be executed. So for now, should then I specify in the README file of the Ansible Tower Service provider, please specify values in X data type, and then I'll go use it, and then I'll do this verification and return an error if it doesn't match. Yeah.
But returning an error also should mean you should send an action.finished, but this action.finished should contain as a result failed.
Okay.
So that we get this info message also in Keptn then that the action simply failed because there was a problem.
Okay. That makes sense.
I would like to quickly show you the specification if I'm allowed to share. So it's already merged. Cloud events. It's action.finished. And let's have a look at the example. This is the best. Then you should send an action.finished, but now as a status, you should choose here failed, not result. Also, the status should be failed. So the result is really whether the action was successful or not. And the status is really whether the action provider had internal errors or something like this.
Got it. Okay.
So here you can see the expected values which are recognized by Keptn: succeeded, errored, or unknown.
So if I do errored, should I leave result nil or should I put it failed?
Actually, it does not matter.
Okay, it will be ignored.
Yeah, but please don't make it a pass. So because this can lead to confusions in the bridge. Hey, I do have a status which is errored, but the result was passing. So
Okay.
either make it failed or leave it empty.
Okay. Then I have a follow-up because is the action, the send action started and send action finished event already implemented? I know the event specification is done, but I think not sure if the function is already created. The template still says it's as a to-do, so maybe I
You mean in
didn't
the
look
Go utils?
sooner.
No,
Yeah.
I think Gabriel is referring to the template um, for writing an action provider.
No, yeah, I mean, the template says is correct in the sense that it says, let me get the correct line here. If on the event handlers, it says my Keptn.send action started event, but then it has a commentary saying implement the send action started event in Keptn Go utils events.go. I understand that this is not something that every action provider will have to do. It's just something that still needs to be
Gabriel,
added to that the lib.
Can
Yeah,
you
I'll
please
show it.
show us the screen?
Here you go. So I still haven't uncommented it just to actually send the action started event because when I looked here, I couldn't find this function, or maybe it was a while ago.
So can you please send us the link, because then I can double check this tomorrow.
Lib events.
So that's where all the
events.
types and maybe the function is not supposed to be here, or this is just the types. Oh no, yeah, here you go. Send configuration change event, send deployment finished. They are all here, but the send action started is not. Let me place this in the chat.
Good point. So we will add it.
Keptn sandbox. The templates. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but for me, from my side, that's about it. I will then continue with the Ansible service. And then I'll wait for the implementation of these functions to start sending the events and then send the error event as well whenever there's a data type error.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining the community.
And sorry for the inconvenience that we had to move over to the other Zoom meeting.
No worries.
But we will hope to find a solution for the future.
Okay.
All right. Then, yeah, when there are no further questions, let's close this meeting. Thanks for attending, everyone, and then see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you. Goodbye.
video. Stop